Okay, dads, huddle up. I got dads here. We're going to be doing a little coffee talk just in time for Father's Day, and they've got something to say.
GMT starts now.
Woo!
Live, this is Good Morning Texas.
Good morning, Texas. I'm Paige McCoy Smith. We have got a fun show for you today. You just heard I'm sitting down at the table with three dads to talk about everything fatherhood. Plus, Fort Worth-based Maple Branch Craft Brewery, they're here with some Father's Day beer pairings. You're not going to want to miss that. And she took on Bobby Flay on Beat Bobby Flay. Chef Kes Eshon is in the GMT kitchen to tell us all about it and share her culinary journey. But first, I'm going to toss it over to our friend and dear old dad, Mr. Greg Fields. Do you have any big plans for Father's Day?
I don't know. See what the family is going to do for me. So,
I bet they're going to give you lots of surprises.
A guilt-free nap is all I want, on Father's Day. All right, let's talk weather. It's going to be a hot one. We do know that once we get to Father's Day. Today, though, we are dealing with some dangerous heat, so that is why we do have that weather alert in place because of the heat. Officially noon today, but it's already starting to heat up noon until 9 p.m. We do have that heat advisory that goes into effect. We could see a heat index 110, maybe 110 plus in some locations later today. Highs well into the 90s, upper 90s we're talking about today. So make sure you do hydrate properly. Take all the necessary heat precautions if you do have to be out for any extended period of time for today. There's the heat advisory. All of North Texas included in that. Again, noon until 9 p.m. here this evening. So we have plenty of sunny skies. Temperatures already starting to warm up out at DFW Airport. Back up to 82. Those south winds at 15. So it's going to be another breezy, hot afternoon across the area with those temperatures that will keep climbing. 82 coming over to Love Field with those southeast winds now at 14. So here's what it looks like elsewhere around. We're back into the upper 70s and low 80s. So it tried to cool off a little bit earlier outside the Metroplex. We had a few lower 70s around, but again, that didn't last long. So everyone back into the upper 70s and low 80s now. We're going to be headed for the upper 90s. Now, we're not going to break any records today. That record high back in 2011 of 104. But we will be approaching triple digits, maybe in our far western counties a little bit later on this afternoon. And then once we factor in that humidity, yes, it's going to feel like it's 109, maybe 110 in Dallas and Fort Worth. Triple digit heat indices anywhere you go across North Texas here for this afternoon. So yes, it will be quite hot today. A little bit of a break tomorrow. We are talking about at least some thunderstorm chances very late tonight into Friday. So we'll get more into that a little bit later in the show. But now, Paige, back to you.
You know, turning a big idea into a small business comes with challenges. Before you start, it's important to not only create a business plan, but scale it to grow over time. Black Women's Wall Street co-founders Jacoy James Pugh and Latoya Gooden are passionate about helping women do just that. And they join me to drop in on some knowledge. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here.
Good morning. Thank you.
It's a big step to kind of start your own business. There are a lot of risks involved in that. So I'm curious, to kick us off, what are some of the biggest mistakes that people can make when scaling a business?
A lot of times when it comes to scaling a business, it's typically going to be where individuals will attempt to scale way too soon. Usually because they don't have the revenue to support it.
Right.
They probably don't even have truly the demand for it. And it's going to be important that they look at their data, look at their history to know, do your customers, your client base really want what it is that has entered into the market?
Because you can have all the passion in the world.
Truly.
If it's not going to resonate with your target demographic, you're really, really in some trouble, for sure. And particularly when it comes to cash flow management. We hear a lot about the term margins. That's thrown around quite a bit. Let's get down to the definition of that and why that is so important to consider your margins before you open your doors.
Really, margins are really knowing your numbers, knowing where your growth is, where the decline is. That's really all that margins are in simplicity. Business owners really need to understand and pay attention to the history. They need to pay attention to where on their income statement, on their profit and loss statement, their balance sheet, the numbers do not lie. So those margins are really going to give you clear insight, clear indicators as to whether or not you're moving forward in the direction your business really needs to go.
This is really great advice. It's also important to do kind of a very thorough market validation, or another term for that is kind of a competitive analysis, to consider what is already out there, who is already using your demographic before you jump into what could potentially be an already competitive pool.
Yeah, absolutely. Being able to know who your competitors are is going to be important, because you need to know, how does your business stand out? There's a lot of different individuals that will jump from one company to the next for little reasons, for customer service, or maybe you're able to get a product or a service out faster than the competitor. So doing your research and truly knowing what is out there, who is in the same market as you, that helps you to uniquely position yourself in your industry.
And then once you know that information, once you know who your competition is, who's already in the field, then you can find creative ways to differentiate yourself from other brands that really set you apart in that competitive field. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your organization. It's called Black Women's Wall Street. How did it all start?
So it started at McCoy's kitchen table.
Oh my God!
Yes.
Isn't that where so many of the best ideas start?
Yes.
Is at a kitchen table and a cup of coffee.
Absolutely. And so we were sitting there. We both had our own individual businesses, and so we decided, like, okay, what if there was some type of company that would help us do this that we're already doing and just miss those curves altogether? And so we came up with Black Women's Wall Street.
You know, I think it is really important when you're starting on a new venture that you're aligning yourself with people and with organizations to help you move that ball forward. It is a big, scary world out there, and to know that there's a resource such as yours to help navigate some of those challenges and ask some of these basic questions in an environment that's not judgmental, that is a big win.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
It's important because a lot of times entrepreneurship is a very lonely journey. Not everybody understands that. And so with LaToya and I building Black Women's Wall Street, we wanted to create a community, if you will, where women who identify as us, they know and understand that we've walked through some of the same challenges that they've walked through, that it's important that we are not talking the talk, but walking the walk. And so that community is going to be so important because like I said, it can be such a lonely journey.
It really can. And I do think that possibly a characteristic that defines entrepreneurs is that they're so driven and they kind of are, do-it-yourselfers. The idea of asking for help can be an intimidating process, but it's vital to have this kind of assistance before you kind of dive in. And that goes into the whole notion of networking. So important to have those contacts in place.
It absolutely is. And we are very big on community and connection. So anytime that you can leverage a relationship, that's what you're going to want to do, because they are worth their weight in gold.
All right. So that leads us very nicely into this next question about a big event that you're having. Tell us about that.
Yes, so literally tomorrow, Friday, June 19th, there is the 10th annual Arlington Juneteenth celebration. That is going to be with the Arlington Black Chamber of Commerce and partnered with the Texas Rangers. And so being that it's the 10th annual, we're really excited. We're going to have keynote speakers, Gerald Alley from Conrail and Cynthia Sint Marshall, former CEO of the Dallas Mavericks. So it's going to be a fantastic evening.
It sounds wonderful. Very quickly, where can we get more information?
Yes, you can reach us at www.blackwomenswallstreet.org, and women's is plural and possessive.
Okay.
So blackwomenswallstreet.org, or you can follow us on social media at BWWS Inc.
Fantastic. Thank you, ladies, so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
People have so many things they want to see and do before they leave this earth. My next guest loves Plano so much that she compiled a list of things you need to do before you go. She's Plano Moms founder, Abby Alter, and she's here to share her top 5 summer picks. Hi, Abby.
Hi, how are you?
All right, so what is a nice girl from across the pond doing in the Lone Star State?
Well, it was my husband's fault. So 13 years ago, we came over for his job and we never left.
Yeah, it's always a man, isn't it? All right, and first of all, congratulations on the big win in the World Cup, England. That was so exciting, I'm sure.
It was amazing, and so happy to have it here in Dallas, in my home city.
That's wonderful. Well, okay, let's break this book down. Okay, so the title sounds a little bit morbid, you know what I mean? But, your goal is to get people off the couch, looking and doing things, and Plano has so many different options. What is it about Plano that particularly stands out to you?
Well, I've made it my home, and I think that having explored the city over the last 13 years, I've realized that in that 71 square miles, Plano is so much more than just being north of Dallas. It is Plano, and there's so much to see and do on your own doorstep, and I wanted all my neighbors to know about it.
Well, I grew up here in North Texas, and Plano for many years just had the distinction of being a suburb of Dallas. Now it has its own unique identity. So let's talk about the whole notion of 100 things to do. That's a lot, but you were able to fill this book. So why did you want to take on this challenge?
Well, I think after the last 10 years of building my local media platform, Plano Mums, I've been listening to local families and realizing that actually there is so much more that I really need to share with everybody. And I had the opportunity to write the book, and I just jumped at the chance.
Well, what was it that would require one to make the list?
Well, I had to visit everyone. I had to do my research. I spoke to a lot of people. It took about 18 months, all in all. And every single place has been chosen because I think it adds value and gives people great memories that they can enjoy. And I think it gives them something that they didn't know about Plano.
All right, well, let's dive in, shall we? Because summer is here. We need some things to do. Let's talk about the Fillmore Repub. That's on your top 5. Tell me about that.
Well, yeah, the Fillmore Pub is in downtown Plano. It is the most English-ish pub, I think, in Plano you're going to get. I think it provides a great base for downtown Plano, too.
All right, do they do a mean fish and chips?
Oh, they do. And great beer.
All right, well, let's continue to talk Europe. You also suggest the Bavarian Grill. Tell us more about that.
Yes, that is our German-themed restaurant. It has really great artifacts and great food, great schnitzel, which you can enjoy with your big pint of beer as well, or more. And there's a really great fun model train that runs around your head while you're eating, and live music.
I think the timing of us talking about these European flavors that are in Plano is great, with the World Cup being here. To know that Plano is such a metropolitan city, it welcomes so many, and it has such a diverse option, so many diverse options when it comes to food. That's got to be exciting for you, in particular, since you came from Europe.
Absolutely. And I mean, Plano has so many cultures. We speak so many languages, and we brought all of our food and drink influences to North Texas.
All right, well, let's transition from restaurants to art. The Plano Art Walk. Tell us about that event.
That is a self-guided tour that takes you whenever you want and your family, walking around lots of different public art installations, places that you didn't realize existed, like the Douglas community, where they have huge murals telling stories about Plano residents from previous decades. And I think it is a really great thing for anyone to try. And of course, it's free.
All right, another one that's got to be on many people's favorite list. We're talking the Thunderbird roller rink. I need to know more about that.
That is the 1950s original roller rink that we have in Plano, with that spinning ball above your head as you skate around, with really great music. It has a really great fun arcade as well attached to it. They host really good birthday parties there too. So I recommend everyone gives that a shot.
Well, and Plano has a very rich history and its own culture. Heritage Farmstead Museum. Tell me more.
That is our amazing homestead and farm in the heart of Plano, with chickens, pigs, and a donkey, and also a traditional restored historical home from Amy Wilson from 1891.
I've been there. I love it. It's a great place to go and visit this summer. So how can people get a copy of the book?
Well, you can actually pick up a copy in Biblio Bar in downtown Plano, Barnes & Noble in Plano, and also all online booksellers.
I have had a good time reading it. Thank you so much for bringing all of these wonderful places in our community of Plano to life. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, if you're still looking for the ultimate way to celebrate the main man in your life, we have the perfect solution: craft beer and killer food. We're joined by Stuart Maples from Maple Branch Craft Brewery and Kitchen in Fort Worth. You know that, my town. He is rolling out an exclusive Father's Day menu that will make Dad's weekend welcome. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Do you have big plans for Father's Day?
Big plans. Have a beer, of course.
Yes.
Probably work at the brewery, make sure Father's Day goes well for all the other fathers.
So you're going to be working, my friend.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about Maple Branch Craft Brewery and Kitchen. It all started as kind of a college dream. How did that begin?
Yes, I had a Sierra Nevada beer, and I was like, whoa, this is way different than other beers. I was like, I wonder if I could make it. I just felt that God inspired me to try, and the rest is history.
That is so cool. And I love the fact that when people get these inspirations and they start to foster a dream, those that take the action and actually make it happen, that's exciting. And it is an inspiration for everybody watching. So for viewers who are not particularly familiar with craft beer, what is it that separates a craft brewery from like a large commercial brewery?
Yeah, so I would say it's independently owned, small batch, high quality ingredients, not cutting any corners, and a big variety, as you see here, of a lot of different beers.
All right, well, you jumped into a really hot trend. I mean, a lot of people started getting on the beer train and coming up with these home craft brews. What is it about your beer that makes it distinctive? Because guess what, folks? You won a big trophy.
Yeah, we got Best Brewery in Texas in 2024. This past Great American Beer Festival, we got 2 silver medals. So second best Imperial Stout in the country, second best English Brown Ale in the country.
Why? I mean, what makes it so yummy?
We filter all of our water, RO water, take everything out, and specifically rebuild the water profile for each beer to accentuate sweetness or bitterness or the caramel. Whatever we want to do, we take the extra time and care to cultivate it for each beer.
All right.
And we brew by hand.
By hand.
Yeah, we don't have any large machinery. We do everything by hand, shovel by hand. Yeah.
Well, let's get kind of right down to it. So when you think about beer pairings, I think about the lighter the beer, the lighter the food. Is that like a general statement?
Yeah, I would say there's a couple factors we could use when pairing with the beer, but generally going light to dark is a good first, or not as spicy to more spicy, or kind of lighter to a heavier, more in-your-face flavor.
Well, let's talk about the menu items. What have you got here, and what beer do you recommend?
Yeah, we have our top sirloin steak with our homemade chimichurri sauce.
Yum.
So we have that with our German Kolsch beer.
Is that it right here? No, is that it?
This one right here.
All right, I'm going to take a sip. I'm going to remind our viewers to please drink responsibly.
Yes.
That's very cool. I love the little maple branch. All right,
Thank you, yeah.
Oh, that tastes yummy.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
That really, really, really tastes yummy.
Nice light beer to get you started.
All right, so let's move on to maybe a heavier dish. What are we talking about here?
Sure. This is our steak frites with New York strip and béarnaise sauce right on top, with our beer battered beef tallow fries.
I can definitely taste the beer in these fries.
Yeah.
That is really. And then what beer do you recommend for something like this?
Oh, we have our Vienna lager.
Okay.
So with the sauce of the béarnaise being a little heavier.
All right.
But still, a light dish. You could have steak frites for lunch. This is kind of the perfect in the middle beer. Malty, crackery with a little caramel to it.
Oh my gosh, that is delicious.
Yeah.
You
Thanks.
know what you're doing. All right, quickly, let's talk about the pizza.
Yes. So this is we're really known for our wood-fired pizza. So we make all of our dough fresh. So this is made fresh, same with our bread and everything.
So delicious. Look at that. Yum, yum, yum. Now, you're based, of course, in Cowtown, which is where I live.
Yes.
And this is delicious. So what do you recommend with this?
So with this, we have our Czech Pilsner. And so that's light but malty with a little more good like Saaz hops, which bitterness.
I love it.
So yeah, it kind of pairs well with it. Not too heavy, but it's a pretty. That's our millionaire pizza.
That
a heavier
is,
pizza, but
I'm
good.
telling you, that tastes like $1 million right there.
Oh, thanks.
All right, you got to have a burger if you're going to be at a brewery.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So tell me a little bit about this.
Yep. So that's our jalapeno bacon burger. Made with 80-20 chuck beef. We have our own homemade burger sauce on top. Yeah, very good. With those signature beer battered fries.
I'm going to try this one after the show. Or maybe I'll let Greg Fields have a sample
Yeah.
of it. He's a burger eater, too.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
All right, so I really want people to come and enjoy Maple Branch Craft Brewery for yourself. They're located on Whitmore Street in Fort Worth, and their monthly event calendar is always kind of packed with fun, including trivia night every Wednesday. You can visit Maple Branch branchbrew.com, and also follow them on Instagram and all the other social medias for different types of events that they're happening at Maple Branch. This has been a lot of fun.
It has. Thanks for having us.
You are so welcome. Guess what? Coming up on GMT, we're sitting down with a few dads to celebrate Father's Day and share what it means to be a dad. Then later we get a preview of Shakespeare in the Park, Alice in Wonderland, so don't touch that remote. Yo, let's have some more.
Yes. I feel like you're doing a really good job as a dad. Thank you, Jane. I'm having a good childhood. Okay, great. Not right now, but overall. I got it. Thanks. No, thank you. Okay. Thank you for your service.
Well, fatherhood looks different for everyone, whether you're raising a toddler, navigating life as a single parent, or watching your grown children build lives of their own. Being a dad comes with unique challenges and rewards. And today, guess what? We're sitting down with 3 fathers from different stages of parenting. They're going to be talking about their journey and tell us what it means to be a dad. We've got Calvin Bridgewater, Rick Denton, and Alberta Malotz. Malotz?
Malotz, yes.
Malotz. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Why don't we have beer here?
We were asking that same
Why
question.
don't we have beer here? It seems like that's something we should do for this conversation. Okay, when you all think about your fatherhood journey so far, what does it truly mean to be a dad? That's a loaded question.
Yeah, I love the question there, Paige. Fatherhood has definitely showed me a lot. One important thing for me is being a leader to my son. And what that looks like is being a coach for his team, being there for him when he's needed, volunteering at his school, and knowing that he's protected and provided. But not just those two, but also protected by his heart, too.
I've heard this term. It's not important to be perfect. It's more important to be present.
Absolutely.
So it's presence over perfection. And I think that is a really good, just showing up. So Calvin, I want to start with you and about your experience in fatherhood. What's something fatherhood taught you that could have helped prepared for this whole journey?
Something that fatherhood really taught me was to take it easy on yourself because you're still going to learn, right?
Mm-hmm.
I met dads that have 25-year-olds, dads that have 30-year-olds, and they're still learning. So one thing that they really taught me was you can always teach an old dog new tricks.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think you could be taught new tricks and be able to?
I believe I can. My daughter teaches me that lesson every day. The other day she asked me, do fish drink water? I was like, yeah. Let me go
I don't know.
So, of course.
How old are your kids now?
I have a 6-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Okay, so you're really in the early stages of all of this.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So let's also, Alberto, as a single father, you had to rely a lot on community support throughout the entire process. During the highs and lows, how important was that community when it came to raising your kids?
That's a great question. Yeah, for me, community definitely helped me get through what I needed to get through. I was going through a season. I looked for help, but I couldn't find the right help that I needed. So I didn't know what to do, and being new to Texas, I found out when you have a problem, people are going to ask you, did you pray about it? So I put my prayers in. God answered my prayers to bring a brotherhood close to me, and I'm able to talk to those men and relate to what I was going through, and they helped me get through it. And after that, I was able to connect with single parent advocates.
That's what I was going to ask you. Were you able to connect with other single parents, particularly single dads?
Absolutely, yeah. So a single parent advocate, they are a community built for single parents of all kinds. It was a community where I can talk and relate to the things, the challenges that I was going through. So after going through that, I'm also helping other single dads and encourage them to look for community. So that's really, really big.
I think the resources, I understand, particularly in your position because you were a single dad, having that community was particularly key as far as raising your kids, but we all could use that support. There isn't a guidebook that comes with parenting. So Rick, now you've been through this journey. You now have 2 adult children. Didn't that go by so fast?
Oh, well, the cliche is, right, the days are long, but the years are short.
That's so true.
It is true. And you talked about presence. And the definition of what presence means goes through such an evolution when your kids become an adult. You no longer are the instructor. You're no longer the director, the scheduler. You really become kind of that consultant. Your presence is there almost on demand. They might reach out to you and ask you questions, but it's not your role to insert yourself into what their lives are. And so you're available to ask the questions, to be that consultant, to be that coach. But presence goes through such a significant adjustment when you become the parent of an adult child.
Yeah, so it's basically shifting the focus slightly. And as you said, kind of serving as that consultant, that really becomes more of a role as that transition begins to take place. Was that particularly difficult for you? How did you manage that whole empty nest? I've got 2 that are out of the house. I've got 1 little chick in the nest, and I'm curious what that was like.
It's a cliff. My wife describes it as there's this sort of, you kind of move into the phases of parenting as you go through the youngers and the teenage years, but when they're empty nest and when they're out of the house, it's gone. It's a cliff. And so that silence, actually, that quiet gets really loud in the house. The
loud quiet.
Yes, which is the name of the book and the name of the podcast. But it's moving through that transition and choosing, what is my life going to look like going forward? How am I going to be a parent to my adult kids? How am I going to be a partner to my wife? How am I going to be myself as an individual now that I no longer have that kid glue dominating the schedule, the structure, even just the natural rhythms of life? And it's exciting to see what your adult kids become as they demonstrate the behaviors and the values that you've taught them all along. You're watching them do it, not with your direction, but rather just because of what you instructed them as growing up in the phases that y'all 2 are in right now.
Absolutely.
Wow, it's going to happen. I hate to break it to you. Those kids are going to grow up. I tried to put a brick on their heads, and it didn't help at all. How do you feel about watching your kids transition through life and the cliff that might be coming ahead for you? How does that make you feel when considering making that life change?
It's a little bit overwhelming, especially raising 2 little black girls. And one thing that I always try to, me and my wife would try to incorporate in, just their upbringing is teaching them about their identity, teach them how important it is to understand that you can do and become anything you want to. And as they're getting older, it's starting to hit a little home. I have a 6-year-old that's mentally, she's a 15-year-old. So it's like, stay in my room, or I'm like, dang, you don't want to come lay on Dad. But the importance of showing them their identity, showing them they become anything. My wife has them doing a project on Bessie Coleman right now. So right now they're running around the house making paper airplanes and becoming pilots.
Look at that. Look at that. That's got to be so much fun. What do you think, and this is just a general question for all of you, what do you think that you've learned about yourself being a parent?
The biggest thing I learned is consistency matters to my little one. That he has a routine. It's predictable. He knows what's going to happen. So he doesn't have to bring fear into the world. So I can give him a heads up, let him know what's coming. So consistency and routine has definitely helped me. That's what he's shown me.
That's what he's shown you. What about the other? What are you guys? What have you learned from your kids?
I learned that it's not about me. And I know that sounds very cliche, but as you're going through raising your kids, you realize it's about someone else. It's about them. And we live in such an individualist and a culture that's all about the individual. But your kids teach you it's about them. It's about the community that they're a part of. It's about the wider, not you. And that lesson was so important for me to learn going into parenting. And then even now, as a parent of an adult child, I'm reminded that it's not necessarily about me.
It's not about you. It's really about the kind of it's not, and it's about the kids, but it's also about the larger world and where everybody fits into this. Okay, any words that you want to say to your dear old dad as we're heading into Father's Day? If he's here or if he's moved on, he's still listening.
I want to tell my dad Happy Father's Day. I know he's probably out on the farm right now dealing with 20 cows.
Wow.
And he's a truck driver as well, so I want to tell him Happy Father's Day. I want to tell him my uncles that was part of that community that raised me as well, and my older cousins. Happy Father's Day. I love you guys, and I can't wait to spend some time with y'all this weekend.
Any other quick words for your dads?
Yeah, I want to say thank you for my dad for everything that he's done, and thank you for the Father up above as well. Amen.
All right.
Yeah, my dad passed away in 2003, so I just say thank you for what he taught me and what I've learned to be a dad by watching him as I do the best I can with my kids.
Well, all of y'all are great dads. I'm so glad that y'all are here. Thank you so much. Okay, you can find Calvin pushing a stroller with lots of other dads at the Daddy Stroller Social Club. You can also hear Rick on his podcast, The Loud Quiet. And you can connect with Alberto by visiting singleparentsadvocate.org. Thank you, gentlemen. This has been so much fun. Are you going to go get a beer now?
I think so.
All right, they're going to go get a beer. Meanwhile, we'll be right back.
Live, this is Good Morning Texas.
Welcome back to Good Morning Texas. Mr. Fields, what's it looking like outside?
It's looking hot. It's feeling hot, steamy out there today, seriously so. So we do have that heat alert, the heat advisory going into effect, the WFAA weather alert day because of that heat that we're going to have to deal with. 81 degrees out there for you right now, taking you out to the Trend Tower camera there in Rockwall one more time here this morning. Looks nice out there, but yeah, you're going to sweat a little bit. Take it easy if you have to be out for any extended period of time. Can't emphasize that enough as we go through the day. Coming back out to DBU, already back up to 82 there with those south winds at 15. So another very breezy, hot day out there for us. Those temperatures climbing well into the 90s, upper 90s we're headed for. But look at that heat index today. It will be approaching 110 across the area here this afternoon. So again, we do have the heat alerts in effect, heat advisory for all of North Texas here for today. So again, it is a WFAA weather alert day. Now let's talk about some storm chances that we will have very late tonight. Heading into tomorrow morning, after midnight, we'll begin to see some showers and thunderstorms perhaps in our far western counties. But I think those will become more numerous as we go through the day. We're going to have that front working its way into the area. So that will bring pretty good chance for some showers and thunderstorms, at least a 50% coverage, we think, across the area. Those begin to push a little farther east as we get into the afternoon. So the first part of Friday of Juneteenth, we'll have some showers and thunderstorms around, it looks like. But later in the day, that pushes off to the east, and we'll hold on to some low-end rain chances, probably lingering into the first part of the upcoming weekend as well there as we head on into Saturday. Going to go with about a 30% coverage. But not a washout for Father's Day weekend. Here is that 14-day forecast. Again, the weather alert for today. Those high heat indices up around 110, up around 97 or so for that high. A little cooler for tomorrow. We'll have those temperatures around 90, still that heat index in the upper 90s tomorrow. And then we'll catch a little bit of a break with those temperatures staying in the low 90s on Saturday before we heat back up heading into Sunday. So it is going to be a steamy Father's Day, up around 97. Once again, that heat index likely up over 105. Some low-end rain chances for the first part of next week. Slightly cooler as well before we start to turn back up the heat once again as we head toward the end of next week. All right, Paige, back to you.
The summer weather is heating up, but Fritz's Adventure has something cool for the entire family. Scan that QR code on your screen and use the coupon code WFAA8 to get $8 off admission tickets to Adventure Park at Grandscape in the Colony. There are ropes courses, climbing walls, and more for all ages. A great discount you don't want to miss. Again, the coupon code is WFAA8. Tomorrow on GMT, Jubilee Theater is celebrating 4 decades of African-American artistry. We'll dive into their influential history and legacy in North Texas. Plus, he's known as Dallas's hardest-working multi-hyphenate. We'll sit down with Jeremy Biggers to talk about his artistic impact in our community and beyond. And we step into the GMT kitchen for some good cooking for Juneteenth. So bring your taste bud. There's more GMT after the break. Don't go anywhere. A beloved childhood classic is getting the Shakespeare Dallas treatment this summer. Alice in Wonderland is taking over the Samuel Grand Amphitheater, bringing Alice, the Mad Hatter, the Cheshire Cat, and all the whimsical characters of Wonderland to life under the stars. And here to tell us more, Jasonica Moore and Lily Guest. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Let's dive right in. What can you tell us, Jasonica, about this show?
Well, it's Alice in Wonderland,
Yes.
so we have to start with the magic. And our props department has done a beautiful job. I mean, we have puppets, we have immersive croquet, so the audience should be ready for that.
Immersive croquet?
I can't tell you too much more, Paige, but it's a good
sounds like
time. We've got tap dancing. I mean, the singing, the dance numbers. It's wondrous and it's whimsical and it's fabulously fun. And Lily can tell you more about the story.
Oh my gosh, because Lily, guess what? You're playing the iconic character of Alice. What was it like stepping into this role, and how did you connect with her?
Well, it's funny because I'm on stage the entire time, and it's kind of like a dream because when you're dreaming, you feel frustrated and excited, and you're aware of your surroundings, but you're also feeling like maybe there's no escape. And I feel like that sometimes when I'm acting on stage, because I leave the stage maybe once or twice during the show.
Wow.
I know, but it's very iconic in that way, I would say.
I think that sounds amazing, but gosh, it's got to be exhausting. And you yourself, you're no shrinking violet. You play the Red Queen and also several other characters throughout the performance. What's your favorite part of performing this particular show?
Yes, I have loved getting to step into the Red Queen because she's a lesser known character in this canon of characters that we might be more or less familiar with. And my favorite
So it's not
part,
the Queen of Hearts?
It is not the Queen of Hearts.
Okay.
The Queen of Hearts is in Act 1, and that's in the first book. And the Red Queen is someone entirely different, passionate, but in a different way.
Oh, I can already see that coming out of you.
Can you feel it?
I can feel it.
Right.
I absolutely can feel that Red Queen coming out. All right, let's also talk about, there's lots of different magical parts of this whole performance, as you were telling me before. What do you think is your favorite scene?
Funny answer is the whole thing because it's like a stream of consciousness. But I do love all the movement-based pieces. We have a great movement team led by Dr. Danielle Giorgio and Alondra Puentes, and they make such amazing dance numbers. We have tap dancing happening, but we have tap dancing baby oysters. They were just born.
Do we have any tap dancing baby oysters?
Yeah, for real, it's real. So I really like watching the Tweedles dance number.
All right. So let's talk about Shakespeare in the Park Festival. I mean, this is a little bit of a departure of what many of us think about when we think about Shakespeare in the Park. Tell us more.
It's so exciting. I like to go and watch the shows myself. You can grab all your friends, your kids, your family. You can grab a blanket and a lawn chair and get a charcuterie board.
Ooh,
bring your own beer, wine, sparkling water, and you can watch the sun set before the play begins. I don't think you can do that indoors.
And also, of course, now the Cheshire Cat, you might not love this, but it also, you have something that's called Bark in the Park that's coming up as well. I want to hear more.
Oh, yes. So Bark in the Park happens on Wednesdays and Tuesdays of the week. Usually it was just once a week, but the dogs were barking. So
they were barking.
They were. And so I don't think you can go anywhere else but Shakespeare Dallas to see a show with your dogs.
I'm so excited for y'all. I want to come and see the show.
Please come see us. It's our 54th season.
Oh my gosh,
tickets
it
are
sounds
so
amazing.
affordable. Please come out.
You go, Red Queen. You go, Alice. Thank you so much both for joining me. You can witness Shakespeare in the Park's Alice in Wonderland starting Friday through July 17th on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Go for tickets. You can go to shakespearedallas.org. Coming up next, I'm so excited, from Ghana to North Texas to competing and meeting her chef crush on Beat Bobby Flay. Chef Kes Eshan talks about her culinary journey, and it smells so good in here. We're going to be right back. All right, we are in the GMT kitchen, celebrating cuisine rooted in heritage, guided by purpose, and refined through experience. Chef Kes Eshan's culinary journey started in Ghana, landed in North Texas, and she got the chance to actually be with her crush, who didn't have a crush on Bobby Flay, and she was on Beat Bobby Flay. She's here to share her story and food. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Paige. How are you?
Also, I have to congratulate you on the World Cup win.
Yeah.
Ghana won.
Yeah,
Ghana
I was like, you got
won.
to win so I can show up.
Yeah, that's
you
so,
know?
like, 'cause otherwise we'd be really sad.
I know, right?
All right, so I'm really glad that. Well, tell me a little bit about your culinary journey.
So my culinary journey started actually when I was 6 years old. I said I baked my first cake at the age of 6.
Wow.
Fast forward to coming to college in the States. My first degree was computer science.
Wow.
Yes, I was a programmer, but I hated
food
it.
science too, though.
Exactly.
You know?
But I hated it, and I've
Hated it.
always wanted to cook. So I gave the certificate to my parents, and then I went to get my MBA, and I'm like, no, I still need to follow my passion. There's a purpose for me on this earth, and that's culinary school.
You know, it's
so
that
I went
still
to culinary.
small voice, right? That we can't ignore. It keeps telling us
Yeah,
to,
that
to
little
go for that
voice,
little
yeah.
voice. And once you do it, then it all makes sense. All right, so
The best decision
I want
ever.
us to get started on
All
the
right.
cooking. What are we going to be making
We're gonna
today?
make jollof rice. Ghana jollof rice.
Now, okay, Ghana.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce it again?
Ghana.
Ghana. No, I know Ghana. The rice.
Jollof rice.
Jollof rice. Okay.
Jollof
Okay.
rice.
Cool. All right. So how do you start this process?
So with this, I have different ways of making it, but the quick way that I call it contemporary jollof rice is we're gonna start with a little bit oil in the pot.
I hear that little crackle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little bit. You add your onions.
All right. While you're doing that, I am
And it's
curious.
just
I want to hear
gonna
what
saute.
makes Ghanaian cuisine so unique. What
We're
makes it special?
Full of flavor.
Okay.
There's so much history and story behind every dish.
All right.
And we cook with love. I cook with love.
I think that's so
That's-
important.
yeah.
And speaking of love, while you're doing that and putting in the broth, you actually had a little love crush on one Mr. Bobby Flay, right?
Yes.
And you admitted to him that you had, that your heart just kind of went a little flutter when he was on the air?
He actually inspired me to cook because when I came to this country, I turned on the, so while this is sauteing, we're gonna add diced onion, peppers, bell peppers.
And we're also
carrots.
seeing you on Beat Bobby Flay right there. And he really took advantage of this. He would kind of stalk behind you.
I
just
know.
to kind of make,
He was trying to watch what I was doing.
I know he was.
While this is sauteing, you put everything in, put it back in the blender, blend it, and you get, I already have this here.
Love the color of it.
Yeah.
That
it's
looks
just flavor.
delicious.
With jollof rice, you need to build the flavor.
And this is what you were cooking when you were on the show, right?
Yes.
As well?
This was cooking, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so as you're continuing this.
So while your jollof is cooking, you're gonna allow it to reduce till you see the oil on top.
Okay.
Then you're gonna pour your rice in, cover it with a parchment paper before a lid, and voila, you have a jollof rice.
It looks absolutely delicious.
And while your jollof rice is cooking, you're gonna be sauteing your protein, whatever protein you're gonna use. And for me, I'm using lamb chops, and I already have my lamb seasoning. That's all you need. Pour a little bit on there, add oil, saute it to your desired doneness.
Well, I'm sure those lamb chops are gonna be delicious, and you have some here for us.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you, you can make a whole meal out of that rice. That is absolutely delicious.
Thank you. And the secret is my jollof rice seasoning. Yeah.
All right, so
that's all you need.
So spoiler alert, let's talk about Bobby Flay, Beat Bobby Flay. Now, you didn't actually bring home a victory, right? Which I think you were robbed. Definitely robbed.
But I'm gonna go back.
You can go back?
Yeah, I'm gonna
You're
go
say,
back.
we're gonna do this again. It's
But
round
it
two,
was
people.
a full circle. Like, he inspired me, and on stage, actually cooking with him, competing, that was just a dream come true.
Is he a nice guy? 'Cause there's people that have mixed feelings. Is he a good guy?
He's a good guy. Bobby is nice. And my husband is here, but...
Sorry,
Hello,
husband.
Bobby.
That's all right. There's no problem with that. That's okay.
Yeah, he understands
Well,
that.
You also competed in other competitions as well.
Yeah, I've been on Holiday Baking Championship because I'm actually a pastry chef.
That's how you began.
I went to pastry school, but my grandmother taught me how to cook. So I do culinary and pastry very well.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's wonderful because you really kind of bring that double threat to any of these competitions. You know about savory and you know about sweet. And you also have a business. Tell me about that.
So Catch Cravings is my culinary brand. I do created events. I do private catering. I do pop-ups. I actually have one coming up July 10th. And I also do wedding cakes, divorce cakes. Yes, I'm a
Wedding
pastry
cakes
chef.
and divorce cakes.
And divorce cake,
That
and
is
engagement cake,
fantastic.
and first anniversary cake. I do all of that.
Yeah, and look at this. This dish looks absolutely
So for me,
beautiful.
I need a balanced diet. So
Right.
you have your carbs, your protein, and arugula salad is very simple. A little bit lime, arugula, salt, and pepper, and voila, taste it. Together, it's...
Okay, let me see if I can do all of that together.
I'll get you a knife.
Okay, yeah, let me have a little bit of a knife here. Okay, while I'm doing this real quick and taking a sample, where can people find out more
So
about
you can find me on IG, Catch Cravings, on my website, catchcravings.com, or Catch Cravings Spices, as I have my spices too. Yeah, wow, it's good, it's good, yeah.
Oh my
I'm glad you like it.
I am like doing a happy dance right now. That
Yeah,
is pretty good.
yeah.
All right.
Is that your first time trying
Bobby
it?
Flay, watch out.
Yeah, I'm coming back.
She's coming back for you. And guess what? We're also coming back. We will be right back. Thanks.
In the Kitchen is sponsored by Tom Thumb and Albertsons, your one-stop shop and full-service grocer.
Wardrobe for our hosts is sponsored by Dillard's at North Park Center.
Okay, she's laughing at me. Because
you're
I
going
literally,
in.
I know, I'm gonna pick up the bone and start gnawing on
Yeah,
it.
please do that.
It is so good.
I don't judge. Y'all don't judge too, right? Yeah.
Not until you drop. How do you pronounce the rice again?
Jollof.
Go off rice.
Just call it Kiss.
All right. Guys, I'm sorry, Mom, I'm talking with my mouth full. If you missed anything from today's show, remember you can always rewatch on GMT on your own time and free to download WFAA Plus streaming app for your TV, where you can catch entire shows you may have missed under the Shows tab, or you can select just the segments from our show, including this segment, to watch on demand under the Shows tab. It replays on WFAA Plus and on our sister station, KFAA, Channel 29 at 1 p.m. today. Okay.
I got to
Girl, I am telling you right now, there's no way Bobby Flay could have beaten you at this, because that's what I mean. Like, you were absolutely robbed. This is dynamite.
Thank you.
What is next for you, by the way?
Next for me, I'm doing a lot of pop-up private events so people can get a chance to taste my food. So watch out on my IG and on my website. I'll be posting the tickets there. And you can come
and
taste
check
a piece
it
of
out.
Yes.
I loved hanging out with you.
Yeah.
Get back here with that, right? Don't you do that, Brittany. Come back here.
That's fine.
We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Brittany, bring that back.
Y'all can come and help.